Welcome to our channel, where we explore the timeless stories of the Bible. Today, we dive into the captivating saga of Jacob and Esau, a tale of deception, redemption, and divine providence. Join us on this journey of faith, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspirational content. The story of Jacob and Esau begins with their birth to Isaac and Rebekah, who had been barren but were blessed by God with twins. Esau was the firstborn, red and hairy, and Jacob was born holding on to Esau's heel, a foreshadowing of their lifelong struggle. As they grew, Esau became a skillful hunter, loved by his father Isaac, while Jacob was more quiet and favored by his mother Rebekah. One day, when Esau returned from hunting, he was famished and asked Jacob for some of the stew he was cooking. Jacob saw an opportunity and proposed a trade: Esau's birthright as the firstborn in exchange for the stew. Esau, driven by his hunger, foolishly agreed, despising his birthright. This act revealed Jacob's cunning nature and set the stage for future conflicts between the brothers. Later, when Isaac was old and blind, he desired to bless his firstborn Esau before his death. Rebekah, overhearing this, devised a plan to secure the blessing for Jacob instead. She dressed Jacob in Esau's clothes and covered his hands and neck with goat skins to mimic Esau's hairy skin. Isaac, deceived by the disguise and the smell of the goatskins, blessed Jacob, thinking he was blessing Esau. When Esau learned of the deception, he was filled with rage and vowed to kill Jacob after Isaac's death. Rebekah, fearing for Jacob's life, sent him away to her brother Laban's house to find a wife among her relatives. Jacob's journey to Laban's house marked the beginning of his transformation from a deceitful young man to a mature and faithful servant of God. The story of Jacob and Esau teaches us about the consequences of deceit and the importance of integrity. Despite their rivalry and Jacob's deceitful acts, God's plan for their lives ultimately led to reconciliation and the fulfillment of his promises. As Jacob grew older, the consequences of his deceitful actions weighed heavily on him. He had obtained the birthright and blessing through deception, but his relationship with Esau remained strained. One night, as Jacob was traveling to his uncle Laban's house, he stopped to rest. During the night, he had a dream of a ladder reaching up to heaven, with angels ascending and descending on it. Above the ladder stood the Lord, who reaffirmed the covenant he had made with Jacob's grandfather Abraham and his father Isaac. God promised to be with Jacob, to bless him, and to give him the land on which he was lying. When Jacob awoke, he was filled with awe and reverence, realizing that God was present in that place. He took the stone he had used as a pillow, set it up as a pillar, and poured oil on top of it, consecrating it as a memorial to God. Jacob continued his journey and eventually arrived at Laban's house. There, he fell in love with Laban's younger daughter, Rachel, and agreed to work for Laban for 7 years in exchange for her hand in marriage. However, Laban deceived Jacob by giving him his older daughter, Leah, in marriage instead. Jacob then agreed to work another 7 years to marry Rachel, whom he loved deeply. Despite the hardships and trials he faced, Jacob remained faithful to God and grew in wisdom and understanding. He learned the importance of honesty and integrity, and his relationship with God deepened as he trusted in him to guide his steps. The story of Jacob's journey from deceit to faith serves as a reminder that God can work through our weaknesses and mistakes to fulfill his purpose in our lives. It teaches us the importance of trusting in God's plan and following his path, even when faced with challenges and uncertainties. After working for Laban for 14 years, Jacob was finally able to marry Rachel, the woman he loved. However, his troubles were far from over. Jacob's relationship with Laban became increasingly strained as Laban continued to deceive him. Laban changed Jacob's wages multiple times, trying to cheat him out of his rightful earnings. Despite this, God blessed Jacob, and his flocks multiplied. Eventually, Jacob decided it was time to return to his homeland. He had acquired wealth and wanted to reconcile with his brother Esau. Jacob sent messengers ahead to Esau, informing him of his return and hoping for a peaceful reunion. When the messengers returned, they brought news that Esau was coming to meet Jacob with 400 men. Jacob was terrified, fearing that Esau still harbored resentment and intended to harm him. He divided his family and possessions into 2 groups, hoping that if Esau attacked one group, the other could escape. That night, Jacob wrestled with a mysterious man until daybreak. The man touched Jacob's hip, injuring him, but Jacob refused to let go until the man blessed him. The man then revealed himself to be God and renamed Jacob Israel, meaning, he struggles with God. This encounter marked a turning point in Jacob's life, symbolizing his transformation from a deceitful man to one who wrestled with God and sought his blessing. The next day, Jacob met Esau, expecting the worst. To his surprise, Esau embraced him warmly, showing forgiveness and reconciliation. Jacob realized that God had been with him throughout his life, guiding him and protecting him, even in his moments of doubt and fear. The story of Jacob and Esau's reunion teaches us about the power of forgiveness and reconciliation. Despite their past conflicts, Jacob and Esau were able to reconcile, showing that it is never too late to mend broken relationships. It also reminds us of God's faithfulness and His ability to transform our lives, turning our struggles into blessings. After the reunion with Esau, Jacob continued his journey back to his homeland. Along the way, he faced more challenges and trials, but his faith in God continued to grow. One of the most significant challenges Jacob faced was the loss of his beloved wife, Rachel. She died while giving birth to their second son, Benjamin, leaving Jacob devastated. Despite his grief, Jacob found solace in his faith, trusting that God had a plan even in the midst of tragedy. As Jacob neared his homeland, he prepared to meet his father Isaac once again. He also had a tense encounter with his brother Esau's son. However, through it all, Jacob remained steadfast in his faith, knowing that God was guiding his steps. Upon his return, Jacob settled in the land of Canaan, where his father Isaac had lived. God appeared to him once again and reaffirmed the covenant he had made with Abraham and Isaac, promising to give the land to Jacob and his descendants. Jacob's faith was tested once more when his daughter Dinah was raped, and his sons sought revenge. Jacob was troubled by their actions but trusted that God would bring good out of the situation. In his old age, Jacob blessed his sons and prophesied about their future. He also adopted Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, as his own, passing on the blessing of Abraham to them. Jacob's life was a testament to the faithfulness of God. Despite his flaws and mistakes, Jacob trusted in God's plan and saw His faithfulness in every circumstance. His story serves as an example to us all, reminding us to trust in God's plan and to seek His guidance in all things. As Jacob's life drew to a close, he gathered his sons to bless them and reveal to them their future. He spoke prophetic words over each of his sons, foretelling the destinies of their descendants. To his son Judah, Jacob gave a particularly significant blessing, declaring that the scepter would not depart from Judah's descendants until the coming of Shiloh, a reference to the Messiah. This prophecy indicated that the future line of kings, including King David and ultimately Jesus Christ, would come from the tribe of Judah. After blessing his sons, Jacob passed away and was buried in the cave of Machpelah, alongside his ancestors Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Rebekah, and Leah. His death marked the end of an era but also the beginning of a new chapter for his descendants. The legacy of Jacob and Esau continued to impact future generations. The rivalry between the two brothers served as a cautionary tale about the consequences of jealousy and deceit. However, their eventual reconciliation demonstrated the power of forgiveness and redemption. Through Jacob's life, we see that God's plans are often mysterious and unfold over time. Despite Jacob's flaws and shortcomings, God remained faithful to him, guiding his steps and fulfilling his promises. Jacob's story serves as a reminder that our past mistakes do not define us. God can use even the most flawed individuals to accomplish His purposes and bring about His kingdom. As we journey through life, may we trust in God's plan for us, knowing that He is always with us, leading us toward our ultimate destination. As we conclude our exploration of Jacob and Esau's story, we are reminded of God's faithfulness and the power of forgiveness and redemption. We hope you found inspiration in these biblical narratives. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more enlightening content. Until next time, stay blessed.